What's going on, guys? MDLP from the Battle Axe, the strongman gym in Miami where strength is everything. And I actually learned that really well this weekend. So I'm making this video because I've been asked a lot about how this weekend went on nationals, and maybe it's still a little too close, a little raw in my belly about what happened, in a sense, and how it went for me to make the video. But I leave to England in a few days to go watch the Rugby World Cup with my rugby mates and have a very, very needed vacation, which I hate taking, but I'm doing it. So I might as well do this now and kind of explain the nuances of what went on. Are not really important, but the general feeling of what happened. So first of all, obviously I want to thank everybody, my coaches, Alan and Marty. Thank you for everything on nutrition. Alan has been a huge part of my training. All my training crew, my guys from the Battle Axe, everybody from Florida who did fucking phenomenal. I thought 3 states stood out. Texas, Illinois, and Florida, sending some of the strongest people, a lot of Arnold qualifiers. So congrats on all you guys. I know there's tons of names out there. I just wanted to say, congrats on all that. I really got to see a lot of good, strong lifters in general, women especially. I mean, they just blew through some of the events. So it was really cool to go out there and see this thing on a national stage again. I always say it's not hard to get to nationals in strongman, but it's really hard to do well. And you know that when you battle in the top 10 or you're battling with the top 5, top 10, those guys are on another level. And you realize just how hard it is to do well in strongman. So I'm sorry about the noises. There's like a million things going on, but I'll try to do my best to keep this as loud as possible and as communicating. So basic recap on those 5 events. I didn't do so well on 2, on the Zercher and the Farmers. I blacked out on the Zercher, finished but really slow. And on the Farmers, I actually dropped for the first time ever, dropped the Farmers twice, and I had measurement distance. I didn't finish the 60 feet. The log, I did all right. I didn't do a PR. The dumbbell and the deadlift, the dumbbell being my nemesis, I did the best I've ever done. So I got a PR, which was great, which tells me that I actually learned my lesson from the Platinum Plus. And then the sandbags, I moved a little slow based on my standards. I do movement events pretty well, and it was my movement events that suffered this time. And, so I didn't do very well. I placed 21st in my division overall. I'm not really sure, probably because I don't really care because of how bad I did. And I understand that, 21st is 6 places worse than last year. And so before I go on to what happened, I really understand the whole idea of, you'll do better next time, and, this doesn't show anything. And I understand the pats on the back, and I understand all of that. I'm trying to talk to you as Michael the coach, or MDLP the coach, not necessarily the athlete, because the athlete in me is irrational right now. I'm super butthurt. I have my tail between my legs. Obviously humbled, but I don't feel like I needed to be humbled. I've been humbled plenty of times already in my life as a competitor, but I'm more let down as an athlete, I think, more than humbled, actually. So I'm going to try and talk to you as a coach as much as I can, because if I sit here and talk to you as the athlete, it's just going to be a barrage of angry emotions towards myself, which it might come out, it might not, but anywho, as a coach, I don't fundamentally blame anything but myself. I don't blame my diet, I don't blame the cut. A lot of people have asked me, what do you think it was? Was it a cut? Was it your diet? Was it, sleeping, working, whatever? I can sit here and tell you a million things about the implements, the sauna, the food, everything. It just doesn't matter, because what matters is those 5 events, and I didn't do what I needed to do to qualify for the Arnolds, which was my goal last year. So I'd like to think that I worked really, really, really fucking hard for this, and I worked my ass off the moment I got off the plane last year, knowing that this year would be very special to me, that I wouldn't be the one that didn't go to the Arnolds, and it didn't happen for me. So I'm only disappointed, and not because other people beat me or my placing in general, but because I failed to do what I set out to do, which was hit PRs. I only got 1 PR out of 5 events. I didn't do well on anything else. I did much better in training. And I really can't sit here and tell you anything other than, strong is strong. And I learned that, it's one thing from kind of going out of, I always have to write shit down because I'll forget. Strong is strong. I mean, the guys who were the top 5, top 10, they didn't drop anything. They didn't really complain about anything. you know, the beast metal handles were a little smooth, but if your grip is really strong, it doesn't really fucking matter, does it? If the dumbbell's off balance or the log feels weird, if you're really, really strong, you're gonna fucking press it no matter what it is. And I've always said strength is everything, but I don't think I've ever felt it with such fervor as this weekend when, you know, a part of me, when you lose, you almost want to find an explanation to things. Not necessarily blame or an excuse, but you want to know why the fuck that I didn't go the way you wanted it to go. And all I know is that I just need more work. I've been competing at this level for 3.5 years. And I understand that the middleweight class is the hardest class. I don't care what anybody says. It's the most competitive, the hardest class out there in strongman. And I know that 3.5 years is probably not enough. That I understand I have 4, 5, 6 years ahead of me, or to go, or whatever left, to really make a dent into the sport at this class. So anyways, I'm going to keep rambling. I don't want to keep rambling. How I feel, the reason why I feel this way, the way I feel is that I'm a very in the moment person. I try not to lose my thought on thinking ahead or thinking behind. In the moment, I feel very disappointed just because I didn't do what I set out to do. So again, I'm going to sulk around, lick my wounds, go to England, drink myself retarded for a few days. I need to heal. I'm not a very, I wouldn't call it necessarily a spiritual person, but I need to let that competitive spirit heal. I've been training for the Plat Plus and this show, so I've been training pretty much 7 months straight, really, really intensely. And I think that my body and my mind need a break, and I fucking hate saying that shit. I hate it. I don't like vacations. I don't like time off. But for the first time in a while, I think that this is actually going to do me some good. I'm having a lot of weird pains and aches that I shouldn't be having at 31. So I think it's very important for us to me to just take this time and kind of heal my spirit and get back into it. No, I don't question the sport. I don't question my will to win. I don't question anything. I just need to get fuck back to work harder and get stronger. This does nothing to deter me from the sport. It does nothing to stop me as an athlete. It does nothing to stop me in general. Yes, I will be, you know, icing my vaginas for a little while, because when you have such a high goal, and, you know, I don't want to say I embarrassed myself, but I know where I belong, and I feel like this competition doesn't represent who I am as a strongman, and like where I stood at the end doesn't represent all the hard work that people have put into me, and the gym and everybody who's helped me. That placing doesn't represent how fucking good I really am, that I feel good, but it just didn't go through. And I don't know if that sounds necessarily arrogant or confident or whatever. I just know that I'm better than that, and that maintains a fire in my belly. If I gave it my all and I gave it my best and I still finished 21st, I'd be like, fuck man, that sucks. But I gave it my all, and I just failed on certain things. That I guess you could say I made mistakes, although I had no intention on blacking out or dropping the farmers, but those mistakes were made, and that really hurt me in the long run. So looking forward, I'm just going to continue to work as hard as I can. I'm just going to keep doing what I need to do as far as an athlete, getting stronger, focusing maybe a little bit more on rest. I don't really know as far as the game plan is going to change, because I was told by my friend John during the comp, because you know when you're in comp, you're really upset about things, and I think I let myself down a little bit because I took it a lot harder than I thought. I was trying to be dignified and, you know, take my loss with more, but I was actually just really fucking upset, and I tried really hard to not be, but I can't, man. I am a very obsessive, passionate person, and I put every ounce of everything in my fucking life to do this, and it didn't work out for me, and it hurts, man. I can't tell you anything else, that it hurts really, really bad to let yourself down, and I feel like I let others down, and that makes me even more upset. I understand, like, oh, you don't let anybody else, I get it, but I know what I feel, and that's kind of how I work on things. So, you know, I can't help but be super Hispanic about that and be passionate and emotional about stuff. So I just kind of soaked around. I wish I would have taken it better, but I think I kind of shit the bed on that. I was a little upset about things, not mad, just upset at myself. And I could have been better. I could have been a better leader in that sense. But I think looking forward, it's very important for me to understand that I learned the big thing, that strong is strong, man. And I just need more work, and that's not really going to deter me from anything. Sorry if I'm getting cyclical and I'm saying things over and over again. Sometimes when you're just rambling, you're just kind of going through things, I guess. But there's not much more to that. I think that this is very important. I don't like to, I was gonna post stuff about it, but I feel like making a video is kind of what I do best. I think strongman, the whole thing with the event was cool. It was different events and implements that weren't necessarily traditional strongman, where I think I would have done better. But it doesn't fucking matter when you're strong, does it? Doesn't matter whether you're picking up a sandbag or a box of bricks. If you're strong, you're gonna get it and get it done, and you're gonna get it done fast. And I did it, and I understand these things. So looking towards the future, I'm just going back to work, and I'm gonna work really, really hard on strengthening my spirit and honestly just fucking raging, man, because I can't explain to you the amount of anger and frustration that you can feel when you set out for a goal for so long and it doesn't come to you. And it's not that I necessarily said, man, I'm gonna fucking win and be the best, although that's where I feel like sometimes, but that I didn't even set out and did what I needed to do for myself. And so I'm gonna take some time that I guess I have to. Honestly, I wish I could just start lifting today, to be honest with you, but I think it's very important. Maybe you guys out there understand what I'm going through at whatever level, because I think that success and failures are very, very subjective. Maybe this is like a first world problem to suck at strongman, but this is my life. Like, I don't get up and sit in a cubicle and then think about the gym. The gym and competing and being a better strongman is what I've dedicated my fucking life to. It's why I didn't really hang out with anybody for almost a year. It's why I stopped playing rugby. It's why I wasn't drinking as much. It's why I fucking ate all this food and put all this time in. And I know those guys that understand at this level, that's the amount of work you have to do. You have to become obsessive. You have to become, your entire life has to become something if you want to be the great at something, if you want to be the best at something. And I felt like I did as best that I could in this, and I still kind of let me down, let myself down. So the only thing it really does is makes me intensify my training, intensify my focus. I don't think there's any part of me, even now where I'm kind of pissed, that thinks, oh, you know, what's this for? What was the point? Not a single ounce of me has any amount of like, oh, I give up, or I'm tired, or I need a break from the sport. Absolutely not. This break is because I planned this vacation prior, and it just happens to be the right choice because I don't understand rest very well. I don't understand mistakes. So this comes better just to be detached and let my body and my back, well, I've had a lot of back issues and joint issues that I think all of us have, to just let that shit rest and recap. So it's kind of a lengthy fucking video, and I appreciate those who have asked me. I'd like to thank everybody for their texts and their fucking good wishes and, you know, their concern. I wish that I could have replied better. I just wasn't really in the mood to say anything of value until I knew where I stood. And, well, here's the news, and I hope that if you guys understand, maybe you learn from this experience like I learned in strongman in my sport. There are no excuses. There are zero excuses. You just work really, really hard with the tools that are given to you. And I think I've never felt that more now in my entire life as a strength athlete. You know, I've been banged up as a fighter. I've lost fights, championship fights. I've lost rugby matches. So I understand what it is to lose. And this to me is like a loss, and it's a bad one. And it's probably the worst performance I've ever had as a competitor. And it just happens that I shit the bed in nationals, which really sucks. There's not much to say other than I'm getting back to fucking work. So in a couple weeks, I'll be back to the fucking grind because I have 1 year to come back and make a fucking statement. So cheers to everybody who did well. Cheers to everybody who's helped me out. Thank you for everybody who's motivated me. You guys, people that were there probably motivated me more than I motivated myself this time, which was amazing. People's attitudes and the clients and people around me just pulled me out of a shitty area to come back on day 2 and do well. So thank you very much. Cheers.